I've never seen my father so upset. I mean, he was so angry. He called me every name of every kid in our family, including the dog. And he used a lot of words. He involved God in them, but it was not a prayer. You see, I had looked for a football to play with. I couldn't find my football. I was about 6 years old. So I went into the house and I took a football off of the shelf. Little did I know that this was an autographed football from the Notre Dame National Championship team. It even had Joe Montana's autograph. All these Hall of Fame autographs on it. I didn't know. I didn't know what it was special. I was a kid. I wanted to go play football. I grabbed the first one I saw. When my father figured out what I had done, I was in a lot of trouble. I mean, my dad was angry. So angry, like, the vein was like bulging out of his forehead, kind of angry, right? And he sat me down. He wasn't as angry about the football and the autographs, although he was. He was more angry because he had told me, he had warned me before not to touch that ball. But I wasn't listening. I'm sure he had. I just wasn't listening. Now that is kind of what happened when Jesus went into the temple area and he made the whip out of cords and he drives everybody out, the money changers and everything else. He drives them out. If you've ever heard that story before, the one in the gospel from John 2, it says he got angry. Now that might almost seem counterintuitive. God got angry? You're not supposed to get angry. Anger is a sin. But it was a righteous anger. Jesus, it didn't mean he didn't love the people he drove out, but he was angry because they had lost sight of the purpose of the temple. God had tried to tell them about the relationship he desired from them and for them, and they had lost sight of what was most important. They had not listened to the Father, much the way I didn't listen to my Father. And when we hear this gospel reading, when we see what Jesus does, we're reminded again what God wants from us and what God wants for us. You see, he wants your heart. He wants us to view ourselves as temples of him, temples of his Spirit. So when we do things that lead us away from that intended relationship, God wants to set us straight. God wants to get our attention. And believe me, Jesus got their attention that day in the temple. The question is, what is Jesus doing in your life right now to try to get your attention, to make sure that your temple is holy, that it's sacred, that it's filled with his Spirit and not just earthly things? God's trying to get your attention this Lent. The question is, will you let him? Look around your life. Look at your life and see, is your body a temple of God? And if not, do something about it. Share Jesus with one another by first filling yourself with his Spirit.